we had read night 310, and we found in night 310 that the girl, Zoomaroond, had looked at Ali Shar. So we see what happens, and we're now on night 311 of the Arabian Nights. So she continued, Scheherazade continued, I've heard, O fortunate king, that her eye fell on Ali Shar, and this one glance was followed by a thousand sighs. Love for him entered her heart, as he was a man of remarkable beauty and more delicate than a zephyr of the north. You see the breeze from the north, I keep saying. The zephyr. She told the auctioneer that she was only to be sold to this man with the handsome face and the elegant figure. And she quoted the lines, quote, they showed your lovely face, and then blamed those whom it had charmed. Had they wished to protect me, they would have veiled its beauty. This is the only one who will own me, she said, went on. He has smooth cheeks. His spittle is like the fountain of paradise. His saliva could cure the sick. And poetry and prose alike would be at a loss to describe his beauties. He is as the poet described. His saliva is wine, his breath musk, and his teeth camphor. Ridwan rode him from paradise for fairies to enchanted houris. People blame him for being proud, but the full moon is pardoned for its pride. He has the curly hair, rosy cheeks, and enchanting glance, of which the poet said, quote, there is a fawn who promised union. My eyes may look expectantly, but my heart is uneasy. My eyelids guarantee his truth. But fragile as they are, how can they keep their word? Another poet said, they said, a line of down is on his cheek, his beard is showing, how can he be loved? I answered them, enough of blame, hold back, even if that is really a line, it is a forgery. The Garden of Eden is in the fruits of his cheeks, while his lips are shown to be the stream of paradise. On hearing the verses that Zumurrud, Zumurrud, recited in praise of the handsome Ali Shar, the auctioneer was amazed both at her eloquence and at her resplendent beauty. Her owner told him, don't be surprised either at her beauty, which puts the sun to shame, or at her knowledge of fine poetry. Seems Scheherazade had knowledge of fine poetry. She could recite the Quran in all 7 readings. She could relate the traditions of the Prophet in their authentic form. She could write in 7 scripts. She knows more of the sciences than the most learned scholar. Her hands are better than gold or silver, in that she makes curtains of silk and sells each of them for 50 dinars. So there's your silk seller, dear. She makes silk scarves and sells them online.
Amazing. That's a woman
for 50 dinars. In fact, I'm naming the website Zumurrud.
Why have they to sell them?
I'm creating a website called
Why was she out for sale?
Zumurrud is the name of the silk scarves website.
Imagine she get me out to be sold.
And each scarf is 50 dinars, which is equal to $500.
The guy probably doesn't have any money.
$5,000. That's too much for a scarf. I'd say 500.
No, the guy was. You didn't know the guy is rich.
Let's find out. Do the reading. We were looking at the scarf website for. Her hands were better than gold or silver, in that she makes curtains of silk and sells them, each of them, for 50 dinars, completing each one in 8 days. So in 8 days she hand makes these things. How unfortunate will be the man who has her in his house as one of his choicest treasures.
She makes it what?
Curtains, explained the auctioneer, and he has then instructed by her owner to sell her to the man of her choice. He then went back, and after approaching Ali Shar, he kissed his hands and invited him to buy Zumurrud, describing her, telling him how much she knew, and adding, "You are to be congratulated if you buy her, for she is a gift to you from God, who is not niggardly with her gifts." Ali Shar looked down at the ground for a time, laughing at himself and thinking, "Up till now I have had nothing to eat, but I am embarrassed to say in front of the merchants that I have not got the money with which to buy her." When Zumurrud saw him with his head bowed, she told the auctioneer, "Take my hand and bring me to him, so that I may display myself to him and make him want to take me, for I am not going to be sold to anyone else." The auctioneer took her, brought her in front of Ali Shar, and asked him what he thought. Ali Shar said nothing, and Zumurrud asked, "My master and my heart's beloved, why don't you buy me? Buy me for whatever price you like, and I shall bring you good fortune." Ali Shar raised his head and said, "Am I to be forced to buy? You would be dear. You would be dear at $1,000. "Buy me at 900 then," she said, and then he refused. And when he refused, she said, "At 800. He refused again. She went on lowering the price until she came down to 100. "I don't have 100 dinars," he said, and she laughed and asked, "How far short of this are you?" He then told her, "I don't have 100 dinars or anything else, silver or gold, dinars, dirhams, or dinars. You will have to look for another purchaser." Then Zumurrud realized that Ali Shar was penniless. She said, "Take my hand and pretend that you want to examine me in private." When he did that, he took from her pocket a purse containing 1,000 dinars. "Weigh out 900 of these as my price," she told him, "and keep the rest with you to use for us." He did that what she told him, and bought her for 900 dinars, paying the purchase price from the purse. When he then took her home, she found this to be an empty room with furnishings or without furnishings or utensils. She gave him another 1,000 dinars and told him to go to the market and spend 300 on these, which he did, after which she told him to buy food and drink for 3 dinars. End of night 311. Wow, that's unusual.
$1,000 was a lot of money. Then if you buy
Dear, that's
for $3, you can buy all the food you need.
an unusual auction.
But the woman,
Wow. She wanted to be sold to the handsome guy.
she wanted to
What
buy.
a story. Well, these stories are quite illuminating. Do you think? I think so. This was 1001 Nights. We read night 311, where we found out about the woman who makes silk curtains and sells them. But it takes her 8 days to make a silk curtains. She sells them for 50 dinars. So this woman is worth something, huh? She has cash flow. And she's beautiful. Very nice.
Why is it?